how the marketing evolved right from the barter system to the today's modern era of digital marketing. And we also saw the core concepts, few of the core concepts like need, want, demand, what is the product offering. Whether the screen is visible? Hello?
No, ma'am.
It's not visible.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Just a minute. Now see whether it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yes,
visible.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So we saw the evolution of marketing. Then we went on to the core concepts like basic concepts like what is need, want, demand, product offering, what are the exchange and transaction processes. And then we went to customer value and satisfaction and how the value is determined. It's a ratio of benefits to costs. And we discussed different parts of benefits and costs. We go ahead now with the customer satisfaction. Usually say when we are happy, we say we are very much satisfied with the product, whatever we have used, or maybe with the services rendered. Now, whenever a
Ma'am, sorry,
customer,
ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. Not able to see the slide.
hello,
Your PPT is not visible, ma'am.
now it's not visible.
Yeah, only we can see the screen, your screen, but PPT is not opened.
Okay, wait. See,
Yeah, ma'am. Now it's visible.
Yes, ma'am. It's
okay.
visible.
Yes.
So here, whenever we buy a product, maybe any product, day-to-day product, right from the morning, you use the toothpaste up to maybe you have some lunch, maybe you're wearing certain clothes, any product, you use a watch, you may buy a laptop. Whenever we purchase or buy, we have certain expectations from that product or from the service provider. So suppose if you purchase a product or you render a service and in return pay and everything is up to the mark, that is if your expectations are satisfied, then you say that I am very much satisfied with the product. So here what exactly you are doing? You are just calculating how much I paid and in return how much I got. There is a psychometric part to it also to determine the customer satisfaction level. Now here customer satisfaction, it is used as a measurement in many companies. Whenever a customer is satisfied, it is a key performance indicator actually. Now here, suppose if you exceed the customer expectations, okay, if you give something more than the customer expects, then we say it's a customer delight. The customer is very much delighted. And the customer is very much amazed. If you give something extra than delight, over the top, the cream, then again, customer loyalty, customer delight, and customer satisfaction. These all three are the linkages. There is one more word that is key performance indicator. Now below, whether you can see a figure of balance scorecard.
Yes.
So Yeah, so wherever the company takes into consideration the balance scorecard. Now, what is a balance scorecard? It's a measurement index for the companies. Now, how will you rate that the company is performing in a very positive way, or the things are okay as far as the company or the organization is considered? So there are four aspects to it. One is the financial, which is very important. Now, financial becomes much more easier because you get a direct or clear picture, because this is reflected uh, through your balance sheets. So very easily anybody can realize that what is the financial status of the company. Here also there are many factors like the company's equity ratios, different ratios are calculated. So mathematical calculations will give you this picture. The next is internal part, that is the processes. This is related to the internal performance or aspects of the company. This is totally in the hands of the company. We say internal audit also for this. So what were the aims and objectives, and how the company has met these objectives. Now the next part is innovation. Now what innovative methods the company has used to satisfy the customer or to improve the output of the company. Output is measured in terms of share index financially. And the second thing is customer satisfaction. So next part we come to the customers. So this is customer is one of the important part of the company. If you satisfy a customer through his word of mouth publicity, maybe you get more customers. Now, when a customer will spread a positive word of mouth publicity, suppose if you are availing certain facilities or you are rendering certain services, you are very much satisfied. You refer it to your friend. So once when you are satisfied with the service or with the product, then only you refer it to your friend or your relative. Otherwise, you will not refer usually. So it becomes a word of mouth publicity. Slowly and steadily, the company starts gaining customer feedback and tries to work upon the feedback to enhance the quality of the product as well as the service. When this customer becomes a repeat customer or twice or thrice he purchases a product, then we say we enter into that loyalty phase. The customer is very loyal with the company or with the brand. And nowadays, there are customer loyalty programs undertaken by the organizations to retain the customers, since it's a cutthroat competition is there in today's era. Each and every organization or company would like to retain the customer in each and every way. They leave a stone unturned. They take a lot of efforts to retain a customer. This is about the key performance indicator. So basically understand what is customer satisfaction. It's a metric or it's a measurement to understand the satisfaction level or whether the company has been able to meet the expectations as far as the customer's perceptions were considered. Now we are just discussing here the basics or the concepts. Maybe once we complete with this theoretical part, we may take into consideration the practical aspects also. Now here the next part is customer loyalty. Just now I discussed customer satisfaction. So when a customer is satisfied, again the customer will avail the same service, or maybe he will purchase the same product or a good. So slowly and steadily we can say the customer becomes a devotee of the company since he is satisfied. Can you name any of the products wherein you find that you are very much satisfied with the product or a service? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
We can start with the very easy example, Surf Excel.
Surf Excel.
Yeah, in daily routine, like each family is using, and they prefer to use this product.
They prefer to use. Okay.
Maybe the company has already gained loyalty,
Okay.
and the customer is satisfied.
Okay. I'm asking you about your own experience.
Yes. So I'm using Surf Excel.
Okay. Okay. Okay,
Yes.
fine. Anybody else?
Amazon company.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, yes.
Hi. Yes.
I cannot hear you.
I cannot hear you. I am satisfied by using Dettol soap.
Okay, you are satisfied using Dettol soap. Okay.
Uh,
There might be certain. Okay, anybody else?
Internet connection isn't stable right now.
Now here, one very important thing as far as this paper goes. Okay, practical. This is a practical paper. That is, it is expected that whenever you are writing in your exams, you should quote some examples here and explain. Or in day-to-day life, whatever are the products you come across or the services, it should be mentioned. And you should apply these concepts there. That is what is expected. Hence, I was discussing this. Maybe I will discuss this later also, once you understand all the concepts. And the next part is market spaces. Now, what is market spaces? It's a virtual marketplace. Now, in today's era, if you see, there is a growing importance of this virtual market space. Through email marketing, that is the use of ICT tool, information communication technology, each and every manufacturer or marketer is trying to reach the end customers on one-to-one basis. You might have shopped on Amazon, Flipkart. There are many discounts, offers at a specified time frame, and people do like to shop because they are getting discounts. They are availing the discounts. There are many offers. So this is what is the virtual marketplace. Now the basic advantage here is maybe at a click of the mouse, or maybe on your smartphones, you just scroll and you get to know the products which are available, the features. You place the order immediately, you pay online, and the product is at your doorstep. And because of COVID and all this, business has gained a lot of margins, or maybe they have gone up because of the COVID, physical distancing and all. So this is what is market spaces. Let's see afterwards how the marketers use this and which type of companies use what type of modus operandi. The next part is relationship and networks. Now, in marketing, relationships and network is of prime importance. Marketing deals with marketing of the product. When we say networking, it does not necessarily mean one of the channels of distribution like networking, or we are not speaking of multi-level marketing here. That is one of the ways. Understand this first of all. The relationship and networks, the basic thing is maintaining contacts or interactions with the customers. Maybe today, if you visit any shop, okay, you pay online. The customer, the shopkeeper will ask you, or the retailer or a dealer will ask you for your email ID to fill a form. Maybe your name, your email ID, your phone number, etc. Whenever there are offer schemes, they will maybe wish you on the special occasions, maybe your birthday, maybe any other occasion. They will try to promote the offers. So here, because of competition, this relationship and networking has gained very much of importance, prime importance. Especially in the services sector, you will see that services sector works because of this relationships and networking. The industries like banking, insurance sector, um, tours and travel operators, um, different hotels, destination places, all this work on the relationship and network marketing. There are other many sectors also. That is what is about relationships and networks. Now, next part is marketing channels. What is a marketing channel? Marketing channels include the process wherein the product reaches from the producer to the end consumer or the customer. It may be through a retailer, it may be through a wholesaler, it may be through a dealer or direct marketing. So whatever is the source, the reach to the customers is important. Today, because of revolution in this digital field, it has become much more easier for the manufacturers to reach the end customers with less efforts. Efforts in the sense, maybe due to this virtual world, the producers and the consumers have come very close together. Now here, again it depends upon the type of, a product, whether it's an agricultural product, whether it's a medicinal product. So here, depending upon the product category, the marketers choose the channels. Now the next part is the supply chain. Now here, marketing channels deals with the reaching of the product from producer to consumer. Supply chains deals with the entire supply chain, right from raw materials to the consumer. That is how the material is picked. The raw material is picked from the suppliers. It reaches the company. From there, how it is processed, whether it is processed in 1 units or more than 1 units. From there, it reaches the distributor, retailer, and through retailer, the end consumer. So this is supply chain. Now, previously we used to have supply chain logistics together, but recently logistics parts itself has gained its own importance because of, again, technological revolution. Now here, if you see in case of supply chain, again, the center point is the product. Suppose if it's a perishable product, okay, the supply chain would be much faster. Suppose if it's a floriculture business, those who are into floricultures and they want to export the flowers to foreign nation. So in that case, the chain would be very limited and less. and the mode of transport should be very much quicker. Against this, if it is a durable good, any of the durable goods, very heavy durable, then the perishability is not a problem. So the manufacturer can think and take its own time to reach to the end customers. Suppose if it's a medicinal product where it requires cold storage. So in that case, the manufacturer, the producer has to take care of maintenance of the temperature. So here, wherever it is stored, maybe in transit, they should take into consideration the temperature maintenance. So here each and every product has a different modus operandi as far as the supply chain and logistics is considered. Now next part is competition. Competition is one of the important core concepts. Previously, there were very few players. Many of the companies have also enjoyed the phase of monopoly market. But today, if we see that there is cutthroat competition in each and every field, whether it's a service, whether it's a product, goods, any of the goods, day-to-day products, right from soap, shampoos, to clothing, services, educational fields, insurance, banking, anything we see, any area, everywhere there is competition. So the marketers are striving hard to gain their market share. How to penetrate into the market and gain the market share? That is what is the whole and sole objective of the marketers today. Now, this competition has also given rise to the concept of product differentiation, to the concept of service differentiation, to the concept of innovative products or innovative technology. So because of this competition, each and every manufacturer would like to because of this competition, the manufacturer or the producer would like to identify themselves as different from the others. They will always see to it they have their own unique identity. That is also known as USP, that is unique selling proposition upon which they can embark and attract the customers. Now the next part is key customer markets. Now here, usually there are four types of markets. One is the consumer market, second is the business market, global market, and government or non-profit markets. Now what are these consumer markets? All the fast moving consumer goods. Now what are these fast moving consumer goods? Like we said, your soap, detergent, shampoos, which we use on day-to-day basis, any food category items, all these are fast moving consumer goods. Groceries all come into this category where the consumers consumes the product and buys every now and then. For consumer markets, usually it's a traditional chain which the customers use. From manufacturer to dealer to retailer to the end customers. There is lot of competition in consumer market today. The more the competition, the more the scope for the manufacturers to come up with a different USP. More scope to bridge the gaps of customer expectations. Now the next part is business markets. Business markets is related to B2B marketing. Suppose I am purchasing vegetables, okay. I'm a housewife. I'm purchasing the vegetables so that I can cook and serve my family. I'm a consumer. Suppose I'm a caterer, okay, and the other customers they place the orders in bulk. It's my business. Then it is business to business, and I purchase the vegetables. To be very precise and a very simple example. So that is a B2B marketing. If I am a manufacturer of steel, I have 2-3 businesses wherein I need iron ore. I purchase iron ore to manufacture steel. So that is the B2B marketing. And I use it in 2-3 products. Maybe one is thing, the steel goes into the automobile market. The other, maybe I make use of it in utensils. So I have 2 different segments wherein I manufacture the products. So I purchase the iron ore and I process it and it is consumed in 2 different categories. So that is B2B marketing. Global market, as the name suggests, it's in the international scenario. When a manufacturer thinks the whole market, that is the globe, is a market for it. So here the uses may be different. You can take into consideration the accessories which are used while the car manufacturing is there. One can think of agro-based industries here when you take global market. Or maybe you produce in a single country and you sell it in different nation. So that is also global market or global marketing. Now the next part is government or non-profit market. Now how do we differentiate this government market, B2B market and the government market? Usually in government sector when they purchase the things, the decision maker is not a single person. Maybe in business market, there may be some trustees, there may be the CEO of the company, the founder of the company. But in case of government sector, the decision makers are the government officials. Not a single person is given the authority. There may be 2-3 people, they come together and they decide. In that case, the things become a bit complicated. The marketer has to convince these officials, and price is one of the important criteria. Usually the products are purchased through bid or bidding. There are quotations which are invited. Lot of paperwork is also involved in this process. So that is what is government market. Non-profit market or non-profit organizations. Again, there some of the organizations, they work on no profit, no loss basis. Or maybe different trusts. So we say they are non-profit markets. The next term is marketplaces. Now, whenever we want to purchase anything, we say just we are going to a market. What does this market term signify? Where there are many buyers and many sellers who come together to shop. Maybe I am visiting camp. I want to go to market. Maybe I want to visit Tulshibag. It's a market. Ahmedabad is a very big market for clothing or maybe garments. So the physical place usually is known as the marketplaces when we speak in general terms. and there is no limit as far as the product category is considered. It's also a consumer market where the people or the consumers go and purchase usually. We come to the next term, that is meta market. What is the meta market? Meta market where the buyers and seller, they come together with a common purpose or common goal. Now here you can take an example of automobiles, where you have the automobile itself, the manufacturers of the automobiles, the accessories, the manufacturer of the accessories, tires, mirrors coming together here, insurance industry, okay, those who want to avail for loan, maybe banking sector. So everybody associated with the automobile, they come together in a single market that is known as meta market. Or maybe some of them, they are pet lovers, dogs, cats, etc. Pet lovers, they come together. Right from the pets themselves, selling and buying of sales. Nowadays, even that market is rising up. To maybe into the food category for pets. There are 2-3 manufacturers, they join this market. Their accessories, even toys for them. Then educational industries coming together in the particular meta market. Like you have the stationery, the schools, the person who is selling the uniforms together. So the products may be different here, but the industry is the same. Or the products, maybe the accessories for a particular centralized product. So that is what is known as the meta market. The next part is the digital market. Now, digital market, whatever is sold on internet, we say it's a digital. Here we see there are purchasers, there are buyers, and there are sellers. And the interface is either your handset, your phone, smartphone, tab, PC. With the help of internet facility, you transact or you purchase. Now here exactly physically you are not purchasing the product, you are ordering. Okay, the product will arrive at your doorstep. But when you are booking it, the order you are placing, it's digital. When you are paying, it's most of the time it's digital. That's why I say it's a digital market. Now the next part is bricks and clicks model. It is also known as the omni-channel. Nowadays we see that this is penetrating into the markets. Omni-channel. What is omni-channel? When a manufacturer or service provider makes use of more than one channels to reach to the end customers, it is known as the omni-channel. Suppose if you visit a mall or a shop, physically you may go there, you may have a look, you may place the order and just carry along with you back. That is one thing. It also has maybe the retailer somewhere, the customer purchases from a retailer. They also have a online facility that is more than one channel. So online they can place the order and they will get the products. Direct marketing in some cases, if you go for a traditional marketing, like you have a dealer and a retailer in between to the end customer. Okay. Then we have the direct marketing for the same product. Maybe if the customer has placed the order directly with the company, it reaches to the end customers. So where you use more than one channel to reach the customers, it is called as the omni-channel or bricks and clicks model. So here the concept is simple. Now we go to the next part, that is marketing versus selling. How marketing is different from selling. Now here, the marketing concept holds that the key to achieving its organization goals consists of company being more effective than competitors in creating, delivering, and communicating customer value to its chosen target markets. It rests on the 4 pillars of target market, customer needs, integrated marketing, and profitability. Now here, if you take into consideration the concept of selling, selling starts once from the factory. The products are produced in the factories. Then the company starts thinking about the selling and promotion, making the people aware. And through selling and aggressive promotions, these products penetrate into the market and profits are earned through the sales volume. That is here, more emphasis is giving on promoting the products into the market, and then as the sales increase, more profits the company receives. So here it starts directly from the products and the output is the profits. That is why it is known as inside out perspective. While when we take marketing into consideration, marketing is a outside in perspective. That is, it starts with target market. Now here basic thing is you first, the manufacturer thinks of target market and then customer needs. According to the customer needs, the product is designed. Then it goes for the collaborative marketing or integrated marketing, wherein each and every other department is involved, right from the technology department. The HR is there, finance is there, because when you think of promotions, there are budgets and budget is a part of finance. That's why we say it's an integrated marketing, and then profits follow through customer satisfaction. So in selling, profit is one of the important base through sales volume, while in case of marketing, customer satisfaction will ultimately give you profits. These are the two basic differences in the philosophy of the marketing concept and the selling concepts. Previously, more emphasis was given on selling concepts, but today, manufacturers think from marketing perspective. But still, today, some of the fields like B2B business, like insurance sector, takes into consideration the selling aspect rather than the marketing aspects, because it requires the push strategy. The pull strategy doesn't work in such type of products. That's why we go for the push strategy here in this case. Now here, to come up with the target market, the customer needs, before that the company takes into consideration the marketing research. Research plays a very important role when you take the target market and their needs into consideration. Unless and until you go for the needs, you cannot design the product for the particular market, target market, and you cannot segment it. The companies do best when they choose their target markets carefully and prepare tailored marketing programs. Sometimes the customer needs are the created needs rather than a genuine needs, or maybe the manufacturer sees the gap in the product, maybe of the customer, or through the feedback of the customer, and tries to refine the product. So here, any doubts are there in this?
Ma'am, Dipali here.
Yes.
This bricks and clicks omni channel.
Yeah. You did not understand that?
A bit means, as per my understanding, I'm saying it's like online shopping as well as they can buy in stores. Am I correct?
Not only two, omni is more than one. Okay. There may be two, there may be three, there may be four channels.
Okay.
Suppose you have the traditional chain. If you look at the traditional chain, especially for FMCG category may be anything like namkeens, biscuits, chocolates, toothbrush, paste, any of these products. Okay. So usually the chain is from producer or the manufacturer to the dealer, wholesaler, wholesaler, retailer, and then comes the customer. Region wise, it is decided on the basis of different areas. That is one of the traditional channel. There may be the channel where you will not have a role of a wholesaler. There may be just a retailer in between the manufacturer and the end customer. Now it depends upon the product category. If you take automobile industry, you have dealers. Since they are high-end products, FMCG category, it's low-end products. That is cheap and day-to-day basis. They are not that much expensive. But if you consider a product like automobile or electronic goods, you may have a retailer or a dealer in between the manufacturer and the customer. But at the same time, you have the option of direct marketing or online channel also. Direct marketing, maybe email marketing, telephone. On telephone, there are apps designed by the manufacturer, or maybe online with the help of internet. Internet is one of the mode which is replacing the traditional chain. Okay. Now, whether you have placed the order on Amazon or maybe through Flipkart, anybody?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
How do you get the products at your doorstep?
Yes.
Yes.
Means how do you receive the products at your doorstep?
By the delivery person.
Yeah, but from where does he pick the products? Now here you have just clicked, okay, a button maybe on your smartphone or a laptop and placed an order. And immediately within some time frame, you receive the product at your doorstep.
There might be many channels like different
There might
manufacturer
be
shops.
exactly. So they may have a retailer, a dealer, which is operating in the nearby place near your residence. Okay, they have the tie-ups, and from there you get the products. So here, though we see you place an order on the internet and you are paying it through internet, through this channel, but physically the product should reach to the end customer. Okay. And that's why they cannot think of breaking this intermediary person. Isn't it? So that's why many a times we use more than one channels. Whether this is clear, this doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other doubt?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay. So we will end our session today. And tomorrow I think I have digital business. So I had given you one task for discussion. So last maybe 10 to 15 minutes. What was the task? Anybody remembers? Hello? impact of e-commerce. Okay, we will discuss that in the next session, tomorrow's session. We will stop here today. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Chalo, good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Right, ma'am.